That I'm not sure. Thursday, I'm gonna get pins out. And then following Tuesday, Thursday, I go to my start, application for pins on the ninth. But this was college. This is just a flat piece when I walked in, and then she had this cheap vision and all this. Yeah, like she took it out. She do really like the last piece. I don't back on. Stress. This is the first one.
You really like it?
I like it. Trying to get there.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ignoring it, like.
I mean, the babies are usually. What's lunch for today? Right? I mean, I love it. You're the only one. Well, did you leave early?
Faster, I use the bathroom. Oh,
Hey,
hey,
Rob.
how are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, where are you from?
Yeah.
Not here?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, okay. Well, what's your name? Pat. So it's nice. It's nice to meet you.
How's your summer going?
Interesting.
Yeah?
Yeah, we have adult children, they're at see all their cars are here. No, we're, Hannah, or I'm sorry, McKenna, our middle daughter, starts her first year teaching at, Guadalupe Elementary in San Francisco. So Saturday, we're going to her up to an apartment in Waysville. Hannah starts her second year as a English teacher at Elk Grove. But we're moving her, I'm still confused. Why is I moving her? Yeah, I can friends.
But he's a dad.
Yeah, so, but no, we're doing something, you know, but it is fun having around. But now I know that people will be, other people that have kids that are a little bit older than ours, it's like they enjoy them visiting but not staying. Because I'm still at the
Yeah, but it's really easy for them to slip back out to the mom, dad, and child.
Yeah.
Instead of, you know, equal
Yeah,
adults.
and they kiss up to me. But yeah, you want your cookie yourself, right? Okay. That's right here. That's right. Anyway.
Yes.
Like I said, it's like my wife is a superintendent. Yeah, so, Phil always explained that she could go up there and help her set up classes and stuff like that.
And what grade is?
Second.
Second grade.
Yeah, third grade. So, and beautiful. Yeah, and mostly they, so it's in kind of first time. Second grade.
What part of the
So, it's the southern part, it's not quite South San Francisco, but almost, I want to say, no, not that far south. You know, she lives.
Okay.
Near, like, so.
Straight away.
It was just like, when you see it, square, stuff like that, you go follow the questions.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. I know they have a lot of challenges. It's crazy.
It's, well, again, like good.
Oh, did you cover it? Well, you know how it is.
Oh, I know.
They're like, not working.
You don't have to get capital.
Oh, cool.
I bet.
Yeah.
How are you?
All right.
Okay. I'm gonna call the meeting back to order. And, let's see, that was, call the meeting back to order. Would everyone stand and do the flag salute? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will commence with housekeeping chores. That we are being filmed, taped, broadcast, and it's over there. Also, members of the audience are invited to address the board on any subject on tonight's agenda when that item is being discussed. During the regular board meeting, the public may also speak to the board on subjects not on tonight's agenda. And the board asks that if you wish to make a comment, that you complete one of the speaker's cards, present the card to the clerk over there in the corner, and prior to the item being discussed by the board. Wait to be called upon and come to the podium and state your name. Individual speakers will be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on each agenda item. The board shall limit the total time for public input to 15 minutes. The board's consent, with board president consent, may increase or decrease the amount of time depending on the topic being discussed. The president may poll the speakers and see if a particular issue, may ask to speak only if they have something new to add. Speakers are advised that their speech may be open to civil liability and defamation if it involves a complaint against staff. Speakers in this instance are encouraged to speak with the complaint officer or the superintendent about the complaint process. That taken care of, we have a staff recognition.
We actually don't tonight. She's in Alaska.
She did what?
She's in Alaska.
Oh, okay. Are we gonna do it another time?
Of course, we will do it.
Will it be a surprise then, or shall I tell people who it is?
Let it be a surprise for those of you who don't know who's in Alaska. But I would like to do a community recognition, just real quick, of someone who is their very first board meeting here tonight with us, is Jennifer Wildman, our new assistant Thank you. She drove all the way from SoCal today just so she could be here. That was great. Great.
Oh, we also have our translator here. I don't know that anyone needs a translator tonight. And I can't say it in Spanish.
Paso interno, será siempre para que lo haga bien. Si hay alguna persona que necesita interpretación
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yo necesito ayuda. No tengo que decir mi suplente.
In closed session, no actions were taken in closed session. And we'll start off with a hearing. Hearing to adopt the school facilities needs analysis and alternative school facilities fees.
Madam President,
Adoption.
you have to approve the agenda.
I have to approve the agenda first. Back up.
I did, I got the no order.
Great.
Also, we also get public comment. Thank you, Ross. All those, do I have a motion to approve the agenda as is? Is there a second?
I have a question after it's seconded.
I'll
Second.
it.
Okay. I thought we were supposed to have an SRO report tonight.
So Chief Western is on vacation. We moved the regular board meeting from the 25th, when he was here, till the 27th, when he was on vacation. He was not able to be here, so he will be providing the SRO report at our August meeting. I met with him on Monday, and that is on his calendar, and he will be providing it then.
Thank you.
All those in favor of the agenda?
Aye.
Those opposed? Now, the other thing I forgot was public comments. Do we have any public comments?
We have two
Items.
cards, two speakers.
Not on the agenda. That's what this is. These are the things that are
No.
not on the agenda.
No, not on the agenda.
Okay, go for it.
So Kristen Dow.
Good evening. I'm Kristen Dam, Calaveras School. I'm here tonight because I want to talk to you about something that we started in March of 2014. I was on a committee with Dr. McIntyre, Dr. Kurtz, Therese Phillips, and Lana Martinez. And we were tasked with looking at schools of need and how we were going to improve the scores there. And we came up with 4 beliefs. And the first belief was that to act differently, we need to think differently. And so Dr. McIntyre proposed that Calaveras become a priority school, which the board voted for. The second belief we had was that we would focus on the site with the most need to close the achievement gap. At that time, Calaveras had almost 86% of students economically disadvantaged and over 63% English learners. The third belief we had was that we would build a team for success, and that was left up to Gary and Christine to take care of that, the 2 administrators. The fourth belief we had was that collaboration among professionals, all dedicated to a common vision for high quality teaching and learning for all pupils. And we do that at Calaveras by having daily PLCs and almost weekly staff meetings. Now, our scores may not be rising as quickly as you had hoped, but I believe change takes time. We have worked hard to change the culture of Calaveras School, and we know that we are not done yet. 3 years ago, you gave us A's, TK through 5th grade. Next school year, well, starting in 2 weeks, you have decided to cut A's in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, so we won't have them. 3 years ago, you gave us 2 site support teachers. Because they're bilingual and most of the teachers aren't, they interacted with the parents, they worked with small groups, and they had a really positive impact on the students at Calaveras School. But you chose to eliminate both site support teachers. Although we chose to keep our resource teacher, she applied for and was given the technology TOSA position. So next year we'll have no resource teacher. We also had 1.5 resource specialists at our school, and the half-time position was cut. So next year, we have just 1 full-time resource specialist for TK through 8th grade. Most recently, I learned that Hollister School District eliminated a teacher in 2nd grade and a teacher in 3rd grade at Calaveras. So automatically, class size in those 2 grades are going to increase by 50%. And I'm just here tonight to ask if you've considered the impact all these changes will have on student success and our school climate. To recap, you've cut aides, you've cut site support, we lost our resource teacher, we have lost our half-time RSP specialist, and you increased class size. I won't go into a lot of detail, but I did receive this flyer that says that Hollister School District is an extraordinary learning environment for your child. But I think that is at odds with everything that I just told you. And I'm here today to ask you to stop the cuts. If Calaveras truly is a priority school, as this board voted on, then please put students first. Please don't eliminate a second and third grade teacher and keep class sizes low. Let your actions show what you value, and have you thought through all the consequences?
Thank you, Kristen.
And finally, are you putting students first?
Thank you. Catalina Johnson?
Good evening. My name is Catalina Johnson, and I am an intervention teacher at Calaveras Elementary School. I stand here before you today with deep concerns over the elimination of both a second grade and third grade class, and those students being added to the already existing classes. In my 25 years of teaching, 18 of those at Calaveras, classes of 30 or more transforms the classroom from a place of learning and shifts the emphasis to more of a classroom management. My personal experience when teaching second grade with a class of 20 or less, that the majority of students were reading at or above grade level. As class sizes increased, students' performance decreased. Currently, less than half of our second grade students are reading at or above grade level. With these changes in classroom sizes, my question is, has Calaveras lost its priority status? The Calaveras community faces many challenges to educational success. Some include economic and language issues. Increasing class sizes will just add to those challenges. Thank you.
Thank you, Deb.
Thank you. That was the last one, Madam President.
Back to what I was thought about before, was the hearing on the adoption of school facilities needs analysis and alternative school facilities fees adoption of CEQA notice. This is a hearing that's required to increase our builders fees again this year. Gabe can say that more.
Good evening, Board. Superintendent Dr. Andrews. So developer fees are a fee that anyone who's looking to build a residence or a commercial building, before they're able to get the permit, they need to pay the district. And the reasoning behind that is, as these homes come in, businesses, they obviously are growing our community. And as they grow our community, we get students, and we need to be able to accommodate those students in terms of our facilities. So that money that we receive from those developer fees are put into a special fund where it can only be used on expanding facilities. Back in 2016, we did have our developer fees increase to level 2. So there are 3 levels. Level 1, which is statutorily capped at $3.48 per square foot, which the district would have to split with the high school. And level 2 fees, which this current school facility needs analysis has determined by the calculations set forth in California Education Code that we can collect $3.58 per square foot of residential living area without having to share any of that with San Benito High School. And then there's a level 3 fee, which has never actually been implemented in the state, so it's not really too much concern for us today. What we're looking at today is to keep level 2 fees, such as we had in 16-17, to be able to accommodate students that will be getting in from the tremendous growth that all of us can see in the community around us.
Can open the hearing for people who have comments about regarding the increasing the level 2 developers fee. Are there any comments? Okay, then I will close the hearing for this item. But don't forget it because it's going to show.
Yeah.
We have items on the consent agenda. These items are considered routine and may be enacted by the board in one motion. There's no discussion on these items prior to the motion unless a specific item is removed from the consent agenda. Then do I have a motion to approve items 11A through 11S on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. I'm sorry?
Going through my agenda, so many contracts.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is resolution 01-1718 in the matter of adoption of the alternative school fees and approval of the CEQA exemption. And we just heard about the level 2 developers fees from Mr. Elias. And do you have anything more to add?
This resolution is just brought to you for your approval to keep our level 2 developer fees for the next year, so we can.
Do you guys have any questions?
So it looks like the level 2 fee dropped a little bit.
It did. Part of the calculation is what is available to you to build facilities in terms of bonds. And since we did pass a bond in November 2016, we've drawn down on some of that already. That in the calculation reduced the amount that we were able to charge for level 2 developer fees. So it's going from $3.72 per square foot of livable space in 16-17 to 17-18. It'll be $3.58 per square foot of livable space.
So in essence, when we pull out a bond, we limit how much fees you can.
Correct, right. But the amount we get, obviously from the bond is by far outweighs the small difference that we lose in the level 2 developer fees.
So is that because it's credit related, the bonds?
No, it's a calculation based on projected growth, and there are a number of factors that are taken into account when our facility needs consultants come in to calculate it. So it's just based on factors, how much is available to build facilities, not only locally in terms of bond, but how much is the state. So the fact that the state passed all the state facilities bonds that helped reduce that a little bit, but we are projecting such growth that we didn't take a large reduction in the amount of level 2 developer fees for this year.
I will entertain a motion to approve resolution 01-1718 in the matter of adoption of alternative school fees.
I'll make a motion.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry?
I was telling
Oh,
you,
you're
thank you.
Okay. The next item is regarding approval of proposed increased pay rates for the substitute teacher. And Ms. Sanchez.
Good evening, Madam President, board members, and Dr. Andrew. I'm here to present a proposed increase in the pay rate for daily substitute teachers. We have a comparison that I'd like to share with you. If I may step up and show you a copy.
What was that?
Sure.
Okay, it's fine.
Oh, wonderful.
Is this thing on?
Is this thing on? Okay. I have to pass out to you a comparison of the daily rate for the substitute, the current certificated substitute positions. These are the most common districts that our substitutes go and sub at. So we currently have a substitute pay rate of $140 for a full day. That includes work within the first 20 days, consecutive days, days 1 through 20. Beyond that, we consider it a long-term position, and the pay rate currently goes up to $160. Although that seems like a lot of compensation, the importance right now of being marketable when it comes to procuring subs also has to take into consideration the amount of professional development that we're providing during the school year for our certificated staff. We have greatly increased the amount of professional development where we have sometimes days during the school week where staff collaborate, they come together, they learn the skills and the initiatives that we have been promoting within our district, therefore requiring the district to hire more subs. In years prior, the maximum amount of daily subs that we could commit to was 10. This last year, we eliminated that limitation and did our best to hire as many subs and secure these professional development spots for certificated members, keeping in mind that professional development is very important for professional growth. So this last year was the first year that we took away the limit of 10. What we found is that sometimes we did have to send staff members back to the classroom because we didn't have enough subs for them. When we started to look at the reasons why, with our system, the ASOP system, we're able to track if a certain sub works for us, and if they work for a different district that has ASOP as well, we can see if they declined one of our jobs to go elsewhere. These are the districts where oftentimes we're competing for the same subs. As you can tell, we're right there alongside Aroma San Juan at $140 a day. Gilroy Unified is one of our biggest competitors. In the past, we never had people travel outside of our San Benito County area. Now that trend has gone out the window. We have competition there. Gilroy Unified pays $150 a day for a certificated sub and $160 for special education. They also go on to increase their long-term assignments, as is on this chart, but they also have additional stipends attached to the long-term positions, anywhere from $250 to $1,500, enticing a sub to stay at Gilroy Unified for a longer period of time. We cannot compete with that type of compensation, and we're losing subs. We also have sometimes staff that are subs, sometimes they're parents of Southside students, so they do go for the lesser pay rate. That's the common reason that we're given, although that one's lower, but there's a tie, there's a family tie there. We also have San Benito High School at the exact same rate that we currently are. We have the County Office of Ed, that's $5 less than we currently pay. And then we also have Bajaro Valley Unified School District, although that seems far away. We do have people that are working either here, or sometimes they take jobs in Watsonville or the high school. Subs seem to be expanding their geographic area of work because oftentimes there are students who are in school or they just, are able now to commute much more so than they used to be. As you can see, their experience sub pay is $160, which is more than what our sub rate currently is, and the long-term sub rate is $170 per day. So attached to this board agenda item, I've created a document that shows proposal rates for the 2017-2018 school year, where we're increasing the amounts, the daily rate, by $10, from $140 to $150. The half-day rate by $5, from $70 to $75. And the minimum school day, which is the Thursdays, from $115 to $120. So in all those subs are not our permanent employees. They still have an important role in allowing our district to provide professional development and allowing our district to function daily when we have employees that are out on sick leave or whatever circumstance may warrant an employee to not be in their current position. We tend to need subs. So I don't know if you have any questions.
Do you think this will solve the competition problem or
I-
alleviate some of it?
I believe it will alleviate some of it. In 2014, I believe, we had a presentation to the board where the compensation had been one flat rate for a long time. The board did approve increased and a tiered rate where the special education subs received a greater compensation. That also would exist with this new proposal. HSD retirees who are faithful employees and community members that always love to come back, they would also receive a different compensation rate.
Do you know how many substitute days we bought last year?
We have a high contribution of our budget to sub-pay. This proposal would probably be about $60,000. We have certain schools that have a higher absentee rate than others. We do have some periods of the school year that have higher absentee rates than others. We can get that information if you would like.
I've seen it somewhere, it's remarkable. I mean, some schools are very different, some more on Mondays, Fridays, whatever. But the number of substitute days, do we know what that is?
I don't know it right now, but I can definitely have that report run. Our system, our substitute assignment system has the capability of keeping track of all of that as far as how many sub days we use during a school year, how many are half days, what the reasons are, who the employees are.
Some of them are not, some are not planned.
Right.
The teacher gets sick and can't be in the classroom with their children, they're up as they're heading out the door. But there's also, we use this up to fill in for the teacher that's on professional development.
Yes.
Or something special that we're instituting.
Yes. So what has magnified the need for subs is that not only are we needing the subs to fill the unforeseen vacancies, for example, those illnesses or an accident, something like that, but also we would need to fill the vacancies that are created if we are trying to implement professional development. So that has increased the need for subs.
And this works. So let's say I'm a teacher, I'm just gonna throw a number out there. I earn $200 a day. We pay a substitute currently $140. Does that differential go anywhere?
That would be a budgetary question.
Well, when a teacher's out, you
Yes.
still pay them.
We pay them their sick leave.
That's
Okay.
sick leave, but they're, so
We don't, okay.
I just want to make sure.
So the teacher's out, it's their pay plus sub pay.
How many school days do we have total?
180 student contact days. And there's a limit to how many days a sub can sub per law.
According to the permit that the substitute teacher has, the maximum sub can be in a special education classroom is 20 days, and the maximum a substitute can be in a classroom with a sub permit is 30 days.
And how long of a break do they have to take?
Legally, we do not put them back there.
Oh, really?
But you know, if you were a teacher and say you had a baby in April, you had X amount of time for state law, for your medical leave, then you can have your family, maybe it should be temporary. You have your family leave. So when you're over and past your contracted number of sick days, whatever, I can't remember what term, where I used to work with PTO. Then you're not paying the teacher correctly, correct? But you're paying the sub at an increased rate.
So there are different types of leaves that are allowed through Ed Code, that are allowed through labor law and through our current contract with HESTA. We do have language in the contract, and there exists an Ed Code that allows for a teacher to take their maternity or paternity leave. Maternity leave is approximately 12 weeks. Along with that is an unpaid leave that runs concurrently. It's called FMLA, Family Medical Leave Act. What that does, it protects the employee's position, the job. Once the employee is done with the 12 weeks of leave, most staff come back to work because that is the leave amount. Some staff choose to continue to be out and they get paid the differential. They get paid the amount between their salary and the sub salary. There are other moments and other situations where the pay may be a little bit different, but for the most part, those are the majority of the types of situations that occur. Every year we have at least, on average, 10 people that go out either on maternity or paternity leave.
Any more questions? Okay. Then entertain a motion to accept the proposal to increase the pay rates for the substitute teachers.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Thank you. Oh, Erica's still. Next item is approval of reclassification job description of school community liaison. This is the first reading of the job description.
Yes. Good evening. This is, item 12C is the request for a first reading, the approval of that particular job description that has been negotiated through many months worth of conversations, many months worth of scrutinizing the new requirements for migrant education, the requirements brought forth by the both state and the federal government, also by the Santa Clara Office of Ed, which makes up Region 1, and we operate under Region 1. Migrant education does. So what we did is we met many times with the union. We discussed what the current job description entails, what differences need to be reflected in the job description to accurately portray what a migrant liaison currently does on a day-to-day basis. And we also discussed the language that needs to be present in the job description to keep us compliant so that our funding for migrant education will not be jeopardized. The job description that you have before you was presented to the migrant Region 1 office at the Santa Clara Office of Ed to get their approval prior to the presentation to the board tonight. They have approved this job description, and it is before you as a first read. It would require a second read in order for it to be in effect. The employees also were allowed to give feedback. They were questioned, they were provided opportunities to contribute and collaborate in this process.
Did we give it to Santa Clara because they are a mother of the area in regards to this?
That's a good way of seeing it. They oversee 35 school districts for migrant education. We are one of them, anywhere from Pescadero by Half Moon Bay all the way down to San Benito County. From that area to down here, there's 35 districts that they oversee. Hollister School District has been the largest school district with the most funding. This was one of the findings in their audit, the fact that our current liaison job description did not accurately portray what jobs and tasks the liaisons do on a daily basis. And that initiated and catapulted the need to reclassify and renegotiate this job description.
Is it a full-time position?
It is a full-time position. We have 4 migrant liaisons who are scheduled at all of the sites with the exception of Calaveras currently has a full-time migrant liaison. The other 3 are shared among the remaining sites on a rotating basis. They assist in making community referrals. They work with the parents, they work with the students. They work with the McKinney-Vento Act, which identifies homeless students.
So I apologize because this was not in my binder, so I'm looking at this for the first time. But what is the goal of this position? I mean,
Good question. The goal of this position.
overall, don't go.
No, right. The goal of this position is to be the liaison between the school entity and the community, the parents, the students. The school liaisons, the migrant and now communities, school liaisons, they act as an intermediary between any referring agency. If there's a family that needs medical services, if there's a family that needs to be connected to the food bank, a family that needs to be connected to the Mexican consulate or any consulate. If there's a reason to call the family because of truancy, if there's a reason to call the family because of behavior or academics, if there's a reason to refer a student to intervention, all of these are the tasks that migrant liaisons do on a daily basis. They are the hands and feet of the program, I would say. They are the ones that are well connected. They know the parents, they know the students, they know them by name because they have to log who they talk to on a daily basis, what types of interactions they have, who they refer a family to. We have migrant liaisons that have been in the district for decades. They're very well connected to the community. We have some that have just gone above and beyond, when it comes to connecting parents to medical services. When we have migrant health screenings, these are the employees that coordinate and call and make sure that the students are showing up to the dental screenings or to the eye screenings, when the optometrist comes out, those kinds of things.
I guess my overall concern is if it leads to higher academic outcomes, then wow, this is very valuable. But how would I know, or how would we know that it is?
It's Title I. I mean, it's federal money, correct?
Yes, so this is funded by Title I Part C. It is categorical money. It is specifically funded by migrant for migrant students. There are some that are partially funded out of other categoricals to allow for them to work with homeless students. So all of this funding is not general ed funding, or excuse me, general fund funding. To answer the specific question is, how do we know that this is an academically responsible type of position to have? Migrant liaisons are the employees that contact the migrant families when it's time for a parent and teacher conference. They're the ones that oftentimes sit with the parent to translate, to interpret a conversation or translate a document. They are the ones that help increase our enrollment for summer school. They are the ones that help secure positions or spots for students during intervention seasons. So whether they are extremely pivotal when it comes to the academic career of a student, I would say absolutely. They have the ability to reach parents when sometimes current staff cannot because of the language barrier, or even just because of the comfort level between these liaisons and the families.
We have migrant students all year long, not just their summer learning period.
Correct. We have migrants.
We really grow stuff home.
Right. We do have, although our migrant enrollment has been declining, we do have migrant students year round. This does not impact the migrant budget because the pay rate stays the same. It was a range 14 and it will remain a range 14. Again, this was specifically to accurately portray the current job that the migrant liaisons are doing on a day in and day out type of basis. This does not impact the migrant budget, nor does it impact the general fund budget. There's no change to the salary.
Okay. Well, regardless, and my gut feeling on this is, since we're approving this position, so on and so forth, again, I want the people holding that position and who it reports to and who it represents, what we would expect to see is, like you said Calaveras has one already, full-time dedicated thing, but are we seeing increased ADA as a result of that position? Are we seeing increases in academic, outcomes, so on and so forth? Because that's what, I see all this stuff here and I'm going, well, okay, I mean, connecting to the food bank, I get that. How does that, it's just like the substitute teacher thing, I'd like a report on that to say, well, are we incentivizing teachers or have a reward program for them not to be out of the classroom so we can have less substitute teachers, so on and so forth. And for this, if we're gonna have these things, every employee focused on ultimately the student achievement, increase thereof.
I understand what you're saying. This position currently exists in the district. The first reading of the job description simply is to accurately portray what the liaisons are currently doing. We do have data in the migrant department as far as liaison picking specific students throughout the year to follow up with academically, whether it be conversations, whether it be academic type of, let's sit together, let's see your progress report, let's look at your report card, let's share this with your parents. So whether this is happening, it is. I don't have the data to share with you tonight as far as what difference that has made, but there is data to support that.
Think we could get a report on that next time? Just something to deal with this.
A report on what exactly?
The data sheet that Eric was talking about.
And what data are you talking about? It wasn't clear to me what data you're talking about.
Basically, evidence supporting that it's proven results.
Results in attendance, results in student scores, results in ADA.
Anything good.
The school community liaison, if we're funding that, I know it's Title I and we want to separate that out, but is it an effective program? Yeah, again, ADA should be going up as a result. Test scores should be going up, as a result. behavior problems should be going down as a result, I guess, I don't know, I mean. I don't want to get excited. Yeah.
How long has this migrant position been in effect?
It has been in effect longer than I can remember.
So
It has
going
been-
back to the original, or prior to having this position, you're not gonna be able to obtain that data.
Prior to, no.
So if you're looking for, something to go from 0 to 60, then we're not gonna be able, because you're already cruising along at 90, at 45. So and then going to 60, I can't see what the benefit is of having the specific.
The benefit is of making decisions that are informed according to results. That's the.
So what I hear you at,
To me, the students being present in school and the getting attention
Yeah,
that other
no.
students are getting.
Yes.
Those are the results. You have to remember, these students are moved by their parents, not by their own choice.
Yeah, well, then, if it's not proven results to that same point, then why are we spending these funds?
Because
That's
they're
all.
kids and they're coming to our schools.
Yeah, but we spend money on things that are gonna do good,
They're
right?
not things, they're students.
No, I'm talking about the program.
But the program is made up of students.
Yeah, I get that, but the students aren't the program is the program.
No, the
The
students
program
are
is
the
the
program.
mechanism by which results are intended, right? The intent, there's a purpose and intent for these funds, the liaison and the whole shebang.
so I think there's two issues here. One, that if we want to examine should this position exist, that's a whole other conversation.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay, so, but tonight what we're talking about is we have aligned the job description
Yeah.
to what the folks are currently doing. And so this is a first read of the job description. If we want to do a study on the effectiveness of the position and see if we even want to have this position, then that's,
I think, yeah, I appreciate that. So, but I think we're going on a tangent. It's not so much about doing away with it, it's how can we make it better, right? It's intended for the migrant community. I'm not saying take it away. All I'm saying is let us examine where we're at and if there's a way to make it better. So it's kind of going on a tangent because you're just wanting to reclassify this
Right.
position, period.
Right.
I get that. All we're saying is, okay, now that it's in front of us, we're spending money on this. Why can't we just get a little info on the results it's proven, that's all.
I was a migrant for a year and then you get lots of information.
Well, we can do that, but, I was a born migrant, so I've been there. I see the effectiveness. Ultimately, it's the desire of the child and the passion of the teacher. Support of the parent, all that play with it. So it's just we're asking for a measure. That's all. So we know how to make it better.
we look forward to informing you about migrant students in our district.
Well, guys, it's important that we take this serious. I mean, Calaveras, if you want to rank schools, it's number 18 out of 18 K-3 schools, not including Jefferson Village and Willowbrook. Okay, so it's got a dedicated thing. So how is this going to help that? And my guess is the ADA or the attendance rate is going to be lower at Calaveras. It's just a guess, but if we're going to do this, let's make sure all the employees know, including those sitting, the board members up here, that the goal is to take these funds and improve the outcome of the students. And, otherwise I don't want to waste time. Look at, oh, yeah, we have a migrant program, it's a checklist item. The goal is to move Calaveras School up the ladder. Yeah. So,
But it's outside of the, what she's asking. So that's all, yeah. Madam President?
Actually, I was gonna throw a little something into this because, my daughter is a teacher at Southside. And every year, beginning of the year, she gets a boatload of, probably 10 into a classroom of 35 of, 7th and 8th graders that have never, some of them have never been to a United States school before. They don't speak a whole lot of English. The parents, if she has to communicate with them, she has to either bring the kid in to communicate with, because she doesn't speak Spanish well enough to make it really useful. And if she has a migrant liaison person to come in and sit on with her and the parent-teacher conference, or the kid was only in school 3 days out of 5 every week. I don't see how that cannot affect, have a positive effect on the child's learning. So, I mean, these are just stories that she's told me in the past, and I know she struggles with that by not having a migrant liaison.
Cool, then we'll have it support that.
Any other questions? Then I will move to approve the reclassification, the first reading of the reclassification of the job description of school community liaison. All those in favor?
Can I see us one, so we had a motion in a second. At what point, sometimes you can waive the second reading, right? I mean, my question is, would it be helpful if we did that
Did
tonight?
that tonight, okay. It's, what are the rules surrounding waiving a second reading, that approving the first and waiving the second tonight? That can be a motion. Yeah, you can make that motion.
Well, would it be helpful to get this position higher?
No, there's people already in this position doing this. Now their job description matches what they're already doing.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to, approve the first reading and waive the second reading tonight, you can do that.
Then put the motion on the table is the first reading, approval of the first reading, and we have a second.
It doesn't sound like there'd be any value to it, except to take it off our agenda item next time.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Is there a motion to waive the second reading?
Well, wait a minute,
Yeah, we already
No.
closed
we
it.
just closed it.
Yeah, we already closed it.
We had a motion on the table, we took the vote, so we would have to just next board meeting.
Yeah. Done.
It does.
To me, that sounded like the
It
second.
had to be amended.
It would, or actually it would have to die.
Right.
For lack of.
Okay, then we'll move on to the approval of the reclassification of job description on the second reading for the student nutrition worker.
Item 12D includes the job description that has been negotiated for the student nutrition worker. At the June board meeting, I presented this particular job description that was signed by CSEA in approval of the collaborative process that took place. This tonight is the second reading, the second and the final reading. If the board approves this job description as is, this job description would come into effect with today's date, with the board approval of today's date.
Any questions? Is there a motion to approve second reading of the reclassification job description of the student nutrition worker?
Moved.
Is there a second? Second by, all those in favor?
Aye.
Another one in the same genre. Approval for the reclassification, second reading of the reclassification of the job description for the lead student nutrition worker.
Again, this is a second read. The lead student nutrition worker job description was collaboratively worked on. CSEA agreed to the document that is before you and signed on June 15th. At the June board meeting, I presented the first reading of this particular job description, and tonight would be the second and final read. If it is approved, it would have an approval date of today.
Quick summary of the difference between lead student nutrition nutrition worker in the prior one.
Okay. The lead student nutrition worker directs the work of the kitchen staff. The student nutrition worker assists the lead in all things, in the preparation of the meals, in helping set up the kitchen. The lead is the main person, the person that oversees the student nutrition worker.
Is there a motion to approve the second reading of the reclassification job description, the lead student nutrition? There a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and now we'll come down to, thank you, Ellen. Approval of the second reading of boatload of CSBA policies that were updated December of 2016. In a variety of administrative regulations, board policies, and board bylaws. Any questions?
I'm gonna have some, and I'm just wondering if it would be more helpful to look at each one individually. Where to pull out at least for discussion, for detailed discussion, AR 4119, 4219, and 4319, that's all in one.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
So it's the one labeled Administrative Regulation Personnel, Sexual Harassment, AR 4119.
4119.
No, 4119, it's all in one document.
4119, I know, I want to pull it up, I've got the list here. 4119,
So that's, there's two others that are listed at the top there, but we'll leave that one there.
4119.11.
oh, so I see 411911, 421911, 431911. Personnel,
Right,
sexual harassment, sexual harassment.
yes. And then, I apologize, in my binder, they're all out of order, so, and then, I guess I have a question on AR 5111, that's Administrative Regulation Students.
5111, okay.
And I guess related to that would be BP 4119, Personnel and Sexual Harassment.
4119, okay.
Sorry, I'm looking for where I made earmarks. I believe that's it.
All right.
I will,
Can you read? Once it, there's not a BP 5119.
all right, so, do you want to hear my comments on those?
Do we want to take the others besides those and get those out of the way?
You need to tell me what the exceptions are, because I.
Yeah, okay, I think I want it.
Okay,
Okay.
actually, let's put out 3311 just to ask a question of John.
3311?
Yep.
Okay, so what I have pulled out is AR 3311. And is that 3311.1, .2, .3, and .4?
No, just point
Just
two is what was put in my, just point two was put in my.
.2, okay. And then is there, and then I have AR 5111.
.1.
Yep,
And then I have BR 4119 and AR 4119.
is that the sexual harassment?
Yes.
Okay. which went first.
Okay, so what I'm asking is, if we pull those out, can we approve the rest and then focus on these? Okay, so the motion is to,
Approve the CSPA regulations as listed with the exception of,
second read,
the second read,
with the exceptions of BR 4119, AR 4119, AR 5111, and AR 3111.2.
I'll make a motion.
okay. Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay. Now, shall we start at the beginning?
You want to start with the sexual harassment, BR 4119 and AR 4119?
Sure.
Okay.
Before I get specifically to the language there, and I'm going to be careful what I say here, but it's a very good policy. But what my concern is that when I'm sitting here, and it talks about that this policy shall apply to all district employees, interns, volunteers, and job applicants. And in the definitions there, which again is very good, but it includes somewhere in here was the definition about, made to feel uncomfortable, so on and so forth. But I don't want to take care of this for employees, interns, volunteers, and job applicants until I know that we have the same policy for the students.
Let's see if we do. So let's go to.
Regardless, that's probably what the students added to this.
So there's different sections of the 5,000s, or the 4,000s deal with personnel. And so those are going to be all board policies about personnel. And the 5,000s deal with students. So if I go to the board policies in the 5,000s, and I'm just on the website here, and we look at, come again? 5145. Okay, 5145. Sexual harassment. Okay, so BP 5145.7 is sexual harassment for students. So would you like to compare the two, that you're looking for what language? And Erica and I will try to both locate the language in this student policy.
So my preference would be to defer it till the next meeting so that I have the time.
To compare.
Chance to compare
Okay.
because this was to me great, policy, but
Absolutely. We can,
I
I would
think you know where I'm
agree.
going with this.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to protect students before I protect, with no disrespect to any employee, but the little ones come before.
Absolutely. We can pull it and then do that comparison. Absolutely. So it's going to be 5,000, it's going to be 5145.7 is the student one.
So do we have to take a vote on that, or we're not?
No, it's been pulled. It's kind of just, we're having a discussion and you're giving staff direction.
Okay.
So now let's take AR 5111. 5111 is students' district residency. Yes.
Oh, yeah, so my question for that is, under number 3, we changed it from being, or we're proposing to change it from being the student has been admitted to an inter-district attendance option to student is admitted to an inter-district attendance option. And what I'm concerned about is a student that is on an inter-district agreement goes into school, not their home school, but let's say in third grade, and then in the fourth grade, we say, well, no, we're yanking that, you're coming, now you have to go to a different school. And that doesn't seem right to me. Am I reading that wrong? I mean, where's this language coming from, I guess, or what was the intent?
Okay, but let's take your, it comes from the, it lists down there, the interdistrict attendance CF 5117.
Oh, what is CF? I couldn't find everything
Usually
else.
it will say ed code. CF is
CF is another reference, another policy.
policy, okay, okay.
I missed what he said.
Another policy, so how this one policy supports the other policy and vice versa. So I'm wondering if you looked at CF 1157, then it would give us the ed code, so then, you know, you can go down a rabbit. Well, actually, it lists the ed code right there in number 3, ed code 46,648, 204, 48, okay. So this is, let's first take the question of, if a student is on an inter-district in 3rd grade, can we deny the inter-district in 4th grade? And the answer to that is yes. We do not write an inter-district for the entirety of their school career, correct?
We have an MOU with local 5 districts. So as long as a part of the MOU, and they're on an inter-district,
Then they
the
stay.
MOU is good for 5 years. So if they're a part of that, then that's the extension of the inter-district, and then the MOU gets, we talked about 5 years later.
Who are the districts?
Oh, yeah, no, that was.
Who are the districts in our MOU?
So the MOU that we have currently is Tres Pinos, Southside, North County, ourselves,
And Aromas?
and Ramos.
So if we approve a student in 3rd grade to go to Aromas, they can stay there continually until 8th grade for 5 years
As far as the grade level goes for that district.
for that district. Okay, so they could stay till high school.
Correct.
Okay, if they're part of the MOU. If this is in Gilroy, then they have to get it renewed every year. Gotcha. And it needs to be continual enrollment. So if they go to Aromas in 3rd, and then come back to us in 4th, and then they go back to there in 5th, it's not an automatic that they get to go back there. It has to be continual.
That's correct.
That's what the MOUs are.
That's what the MOU says.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does this, so when we enter into the MOU, is it in violation of this policy?
No. I just looked that up for a student that we had.
Okay. All right, so what's the purpose of the change that's put in here then?
It makes it more active. When
Okay.
it's current, it's an active word rather than a past. That's how I read it, interpret it.
That was my question.
So are you ready to motion on that one?
Sure.
I move to approve AR 5111.1. Second reading. All those in favor?
We need a second.
Aye.
Okay.
What comment?
Oh, no, I thought, I was seeing if we had a VP on it as well.
Okay. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you.
Let's go to AR 31112.
So my only question with that is, I think that's the lease back.
And have you pulled that up, JT? So I had to go to last month's agenda, because actually they were all listed, to see the revision.
My question is just,
It is about lease back.
yeah, is the law settled on that now?
Yes, I believe it is. JT, is the law settled now on lease back?
It is.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of changes were made effective January 1st, 2017. in regards to how other communities can work with a lease back contract.
Okay,
You ready to move on that?
you give me the number, I'll make the motion.
Okay.
Okay, it's AR 3311.1.
Point two.
Point two,
Point two.
I'll make the motion that we approve that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That's it.
That's it. Okay, so out of those, we're gonna bring one back. Actually, two back. All right, I'm going to board member reports. Peter, do you have anything you'd like to report, activities? Community.
What you been up to?
Well,
Here.
Pretty busy, but
Nothing too big. Yeah, I think we've had some very early. Haven't had much going on as far as this.
You've had a lot going on.
But yeah, my first one, I opened up a business downtown. It's been awesome.
So, not a whole lot, but, I have been in contact a few times now with Tom Torlitz's office, or really the county office, I'm sorry. The, basically, California, what is it, Office of Education equivalent, about getting the answers to the leakage we have in the county of our students. If you remember, when the demographer was here, he had a very good report, but he didn't have any answers as to how many students we have living here that are enrolled in other schools. And I'm going to mess this up, but the CalPADS data actually should be able to provide a lot of answers to that. And so I wrote a letter to Tom Torlixon asking for assistance. I have a personal relationship with him, and he put me in contact with his data people, and they're trying to help me. Unfortunately, they don't have a business unit dedicated to report writing, so to speak. So we have to go through the back door, which they have a back door for. I just have to be very concrete with what I'm looking for there. And it won't be specific to the Hollister School District because it's really of the students in the county, how many are going out. And again, I'll give you guys a report on this later on, but based on information that they did give me, when we look at all of our school districts and within San Bernardino County, and you look at what the enrollment is, it's basically flat. And the first time I had contact with them, they had some trite answer that we're losing kids to private schools. Well, no, we're not. I mean, I'm sure we are some, but that doesn't account for all of this building that's going on. So where is it going? So my theory is we're going to find kids living on, San Bernardino Street that are attending up in San Jose, Unified or Palo Alto or whatever. But we need to know what that number is in conjunction with the marketing piece, which is, it's utterly fantastic, right? And that's what we want to be putting. Folks, don't take your kids up there, keep them here, whatever. So the other thing that I'm doing in terms of our goals, which we'll get that on the agenda item, but really taking a look at what the ranking of our schools are. We have 18, not including the 3 smallest K through 8 schools here, and I'm proud to report we have 3 of the top 5, if you include Hollister Prep. Accelerated Achievement does better than Hollister Prep. But anyway, looking at this data, waiting for the new test data to come in, because this is based on 15, 16, because I think it will help in the goal setting. Wait a minute, don't we want to be, at least in the top 10, right? Outside of Hollister or Hollister Prep. So anyway, that's what I'm doing this summer. And I'm going to the Algebra Academy whatever Wednesday is. I don't know which
Wednesday?
site yet, but, yeah. Is Christy Zapata one of our employees?
No.
Okay,
She works for just Granite Rock for that grant.
okay. And I'm gonna.
Oh, that's kind of, okay.
I'm setting myself up for August. School starts soon. Week after next. Teachers go back. Sorry.
Yeah, it's coming quick. Real quick.
Okay, future agenda items.
Okay. Okay, so in August, we're looking at the SRO report, report on summer school. So on the extended school year for special education and for migrant. So this is the board that they put together for summer school. So we'll get a report on that. Got a timeline today of when they're going to be releasing the SBAC data, certifying it. So Jennifer and I think we might be able to get that report done and out for the board meeting. But we have to check with the state because the information is embargoed. And our board meeting is the 22nd and the information is embargoed until the 28th. Yeah. So we will try to work that out and at least give you something. If it's not publicly, we do have access to our embargoed district data. I still have AR 1340, which is what we pulled last time, that I need to get the language, specific language that you wanted to have put in there from the law, and then I'll run it through council.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you had a specific phrasing that you were looking at.
Yeah, it's in the memo that I
That
had.
you
I'll
want
send it
put
to you again.
in?
Yeah.
That you want, okay. If you can resend that, that would be great, just so that I'm clear on exactly what you're looking for.
Okay.
So those are, and then the migrant report, we will work on that and try and get that ready. We've got some really great ideas. Don't know that we'll be able to have it for August because we are moving migrant to a new location. But we definitely can have it by September. Is that doable?
Anything we're missing?
I'm just asking if the migrant report
Oh,
by
yeah.
September is okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Jennifer and I meet August 1st with the superintendent of San Benito High School, the director of curriculum instruction, and the principal to discuss the tentative joint board meeting on September 12th. I have not heard back from him that that's a firm date. But we are meeting on August 1st. We agreed we're going to meet and just start putting that board meeting together. So no matter when we can actually confer on calendars, we're working toward it. We've got it going together.
So is it still in flux or do we mark out that day?
I would like for you to mark out that date, September 12th, in the evening. Are you going somewhere?
No, I don't have
It's pending them that he's checking back with his board. He and I picked out 3 dates. That seemed to be one.
The new superintendent?
Yes, LaShawn. Superintendent. Okay. But he has not told me, yes, my board can meet on that date. But we've gone back and forth, so. And at any rate, we're meeting next Tuesday to begin putting that presentation together and confirming what that should be. The topic is going to be MAP policies, pathways, and practices. So how we're doing that collaboratively as 2 districts and what we've been doing toward that effort. Okay?
Can we make a request for that? That
Yes.
the MAP department head be present
Yes.
at that board meeting?
Is the MAP department head or is Dan Quinn?
Isn't he that?
I'm not sure, but I had his name, but I.
I believe it is Dan Quinn,
Okay.
but it was last year.
Maybe I would like the transitioning process, which it relates to that, like.
The pathway, how our pathway leads to their. Yes, we've got that. Okay.
Anything else?
So
Oh, I'm sorry, Lisa, go ahead.
that's all that I have right now.
So in an effort to.
As well, I'm sorry, the sexual harassment, we'll bring that up.
In an effort to work towards being more efficient in our board operations, I would like on the agenda item, if it's appropriate for this, the regular meeting or our goal meeting, but I have to tell you, I was not happy that our board retreat today got canceled. Well, because I don't know who, was it a unilateral decision, but I would like to give the superintendent permission to poll board members to say, or make a best efforts to say, hey, what do you think? One of our board members can't make it, so whatever, because, for me to have a board meeting in the middle of the day, it's an inconvenience. I mean, it just, so I don't mind doing it, but but I think we need to talk about that. And then the same thing for polling Lisa's evaluation. This is important stuff, and board members, sometimes we're just not going to be able to make a meeting, and we just have to think really hard. Should we cancel the meeting or cancel an important agenda item? Because one board member can't be here. If there had been, if Lisa had polled us, maybe there, she could have gotten a feeling, no, we're going to continue on with this. But I think we need to talk about how we do that.
It was important stuff, so that's why we decided that it was worth having all five of us here.
Well, when you say we decided, who's we?
Lisa and I discussed.
Yeah. Well, I think we need to put that on the agenda, whether that.
We also talked to the facilitator about the retreat. And the facilitators, we talked to the facilitators about the retreat. And so their input was part of that as well.
It was going to cost us a lot of money to have them come.
Yeah.
And we didn't have.
Well, we can't really discuss it now because it's not on the agenda. What I would like to discuss is.
We wanted as an agenda item of how we go about making those decisions in the future.
Yeah, right.
Gotcha.
What about, so we're gonna be able to reschedule most of it? I mean,
Of course.
that's got, the evaluation's got a timeline, right? So we have to make sure we have that.
We'll be talking about it and put out the dates. When we have a better idea of whether Liz is going to be grieving or whether she's going to be able to free her mind, to put her mind in our business.
Well, okay, with all due respect to Liz Ann's situation and so on and so forth, we as a board, we still have to continue to function. And I don't know what the ramifications of the superintendent's evaluation is, for example. And I don't, but I think that there should be discussion when we're scheduling board meetings. Like I said, it's the same thing with when your high school, our joint meeting with high school got canceled. Again, I didn't make that decision, somebody else made the decision, but we're supposed to make that decision together. So.
If anything, I guess the catalyst would be how we make the decision at the next board.
Yep. Got it. I got it as an agenda item.
Okay. Anything else? Is there a move to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
You. And if you
We'll
want
be
to
in
stay for
touch.
15 minutes, you can be in CSC. Is that it here, JT? Okay. So we're going to turn the room.
What was that?
Yeah, citizens oversight. You thought it was.